Hello everybody, Shinjo here, welcome back to the channel, and I am continuing ranking every single Pokemon, and I am here with Gen 2. Gen 2, I know it's not going to be that long because there are very little Pokemon in Gen 2, but yeah, we're going to continue this. Now, fortunately, it was hard for me to find one, and the only one that I found included forms like the Hisui Typhlosion, so it's not a pure Gen 2 list, but I think it's fair because the Gen 1 tier list had the Megas on it, so I feel like this is fair. But without further ado, let's get started, and I think, just like in Gen 1, I think all three of the starters are going to be an A tier. They are all solid. I think that's how it's going to be. I know a lot of people really like Cyndaquil as well, but I think this is how it's going to be. I really like Chikorita. Cyndaquil is unfortunately my least favorite from a group of three pretty solid starters. Now, as far as the mid stages, I think Bayleaf is going to go above Chikorita. Quilava, I think it's going to go above Cyndaquil. But unfortunately, I think Croconaw is going to be in B tier. I really like Bayleaf. I definitely is a strong word. I think you can make a case for liking Chikorita more than Bayleaf. I like both of them. But honestly, you can argue either way, and I'm not going to argue with you. This is just how I feel at the moment. And Quilava, he just looks cool. And even though Cyndaquil is cool, I just grown to appreciate Quilava as well. Croconaw is just unfortunate. He looks like a caveman. I don't know where the inspiration for that came from, but that's where we are. And on to the final evolutions. And Meganium is probably going to be a very high B tier. I think the Typhlosion Hisui variant is going to be a very low A, but regular Typhlosion is going to be a high A. It's unfortunate that I'm just more used to seeing the Johto Typhlosion, that's why I appreciate it more. Given the fact that Hisui Typhlosion got purple flames is really cool, and I guess going back to Meganium as well, it just looks okay, but I still prefer Bayleaf. And for Ralligator, shocking nobody at all, it's S tier. I remember running through the Elite Four time and time again to get money, to get experience. I don't remember what I was doing, but my Feraligatr had Waterfall or Whirlpool, something like that. Strength, maybe Rock Smash, because you had to have all the HMs. I think its moveset was basically tricked out with HMs, because in Gen 2, it didn't get moves like Ice Fang. So I had to deal with the HMs, and I don't regret it 1 minute. As for Sentret's okay. It's going to go C tier. I do like Furret. Furret's cute, so I'll put Furret in B tier. Hoot Hoot and Noctowl, they're neat. For being the first owl Pokemon, of course, 2 gens, so there's not much of a track record. It's okay. I don't know if I'll put Noctowl above or Hoot Hoot above. I think for the simple fact that I learned, not relatively recently, but a lot later than I should, that Hoot Hoot doesn't actually have 1 leg, but it has 2 that it moves around between. That's just a cool little note, and I really like it. Fortunately, Hoot Hoot and Noctowl are similar to Pidgey's line, that it's just a normal flying type. The only difference is that it can be found at night. And now we move on to Leddyba and Ledian, and I think a very low A tier, but an A tier. I think I'm still going to keep Typhlosion above them, but I just always like Leddyba and Ledian. I don't know if I'll keep them like that or if I'll rotate them out. I think for the simple fact that Ledian has more inspiration, I'll put it above, but that's really all I can give it. Honestly, my nostalgia is really what's just keeping them this high in the list. Spinarak and Ariados are just bugs. They're neat, but after all the time that they've been around, they haven't really done anything or gotten anything. Ariados gets some signature move or whatever, but I don't really care. It's fine. Crobat is going to be an easy A tier, and I think it's going to be right here. That seems fair. Yeah, Crobat is really cool. I mentioned in the Zubat video that nobody cared about Zubat in his line until Crobat arrived. I still stand by that. Crobat just looked really cool. The fact that it took him on like Zubat, which I and probably a lot of others didn't really care about until it evolved, it just is really neat. Chinchou and Lantern, I think I'm just going to put them in B tier. I think for this, B tier is just going to be mons that I think are neat, but I haven't had the opportunity to use. So, Chinchou and Lantern, they have really cool typing, really cool abilities, but I just don't have the opportunity to use them ever. To be fair, I am playing through Hoenn right now, so I probably could use one if I wanted to, but I don't know. Come back to me in a couple of years and see what I did. Pichu is just fine. It's gonna go... No, I think Pichu's gonna go in A tier. Pichu is just one of those really iconic mons, at least for me. And on that note, another baby Pokemon, Togepi is going S tier. No debates on this. A lot of people would argue Togepi is iconic, and they're definitely right, because it was shown early on in the gen. Pichu is really iconic as well. The Pichu brothers? Come on. As for Cleffa and Igglybuff, I just never really cared for either one. And anytime I find one, it's just a stepping stone to evolve. And I guess while I'm at it, I can rank Togetic as well. It's probably a B tier. Honestly, even back in Gen 2 when you're given the Togepi egg, I never evolve it because it's, first of all, it's friendship, so that's hard enough. And second of all, it takes a lot of effort to evolve it because Togepi doesn't get any attacking moves. It's just an unfortunate case, but Togetic still has a solid design. Natu and Xatu are also going to go in B tier because my dumb child brain didn't know how you could even encounter one back in Gen 2, and I probably didn't even know that it was a Pokemon, so never got the chance to use one. To be fair, Mystery Dungeon did help this group with all the spotlight that it got. And it is a psychic flying type unlike Hoothoot, so I'll give it above it. Mareep, and actually, I think all three, Mareep, Fluffy, and Ampharos are all going to go A tier. I think I'm putting Fluffy below. It is fine. Mareep is just cute and adorable. Ampharos is really solid design-wise and iconic. Fluffy is just, pun intended, the black sheep of the group. Mega Ampharos is probably going to be a tier below. I think you could honestly argue the top of the tier, but I don't think that Ampharos and Mega Ampharos deserve to be in the same tier. Ampharos, it looks fine on its own. The only thing besides the stupid hair that Mega Ampharos offers is a better moveset and a dragon typing, but you can realistically just use regular Ampharos and you'll probably be fine. Bellossom, I should have checked where I ranked Oddish and its group in the other video. I legitimately don't remember. I'll put him in B tier. I don't know if that's better or worse than Oddish and its line. It might be about the same. Meryl and Azumarill will probably... I think they'll be A tier as well. Meryl's just more adorable to me, so I'll put it there. And Sudowoodo is probably just gonna be another C tier. It is just a roadblock and I never really cared. Honestly, I think there were even times playing through Gen 2 that I didn't even catch the Sudowoodo. Politoed is a really cool mon, honestly. It helped with Weather Wars for what it's worth. I think... No, I'm not going to put it above Ampharos. Ampharos is too cool. I'll put Politoed right there in A tier. Hoppip line is probably going to be... probably a low C tier. They're fine, it's just that I don't really care. Apom is going to be an A tier. I think maybe high A. I don't think it's above Chikorita though. or Crobat. I think it's above Quilava for me, so I'm going to put it there. I'm pretty sure I discussed Aipom multiple times in videos before, so check out any of those videos. Sunkern and Sunflora, they just needed an excuse for something else to evolve with a Sunstone, and that was it. Yanma is going to go A tier right beside Aipom. I like it for the same reasons. Nostalgia, it's not that good of a Mon. It got an evolution in Sinnoh. There you go. Honestly, Wooper and Quagsire are Mons that kind of grew on me recently. It probably helped that they got the Paldean forms, so that certainly helps with it. But Wooper is just funny. There's a lot of memes surrounding Wooper, and I live for it. Espeon, I think Espeon's probably going to be top of A tier. It's just a sleek design, and I don't know what else to say. It's a really cool Mon. Espeon's just a solid design, and I think when it comes to Pokemon like that, where, especially in the evolution group, if you ask somebody their favorite evolution, I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of people say Espeon. Now, Umbreon is going to be C tier. I think that's fair. It's a Stallmon. That's what it boils down to. Toxic, big bulk, whittling your opponent down on HP. I just never liked that strategy. And that's all I think about when I think of Umbreon. Murkrow's fine on its own. Murkrow's a B tier, and I think Slowking is also a B tier. It's unfortunate that I kind of have to rank these in a vacuum and not remember that they have evolutions or pre-evolutions to back off of. Murkrow on its own is just kind of there. It's unfortunate because, actually while I'm at it, Houndoom is another one that I'm thinking of offhand that you can't encounter it until very late game. Also known as the Kanto region. It's just unfortunate that nobody gets to use one in Gen 2 because it's available in the post game basically. Slowking is fine. I don't remember where I ranked the other two, but that's where I'm ranking Slowking. Galarian Slowking is gonna go D tier. I don't understand why this is the design that they went with. And when I think of this form of Slowking, I just think of the filler episode of Journeys, and I just cringe. Mischievous is also going to be a C tier. It's a neat Mon, it's a neat design. They finally add another ghost type, but it's something that I never felt compelled to use. Unknown is absolutely going to be D tier. It's a Mon that has a legendary status for no reason. And it learns a move that everybody else learns, but somehow it's different. The third movie made it seem way more broken than what it needed to be. I just don't understand. Wobbuffet is 100% helped by the anime. It's going in A tier. Girafarig is got an evolution for what it's worth, but it's... I think I do like it more than Togetic. I definitely like it more than Spinarak and Ariados. I think I like it more than Croconaw. I'm gonna put it high B tier. It's the first and I believe only giraffe Pokemon, so that certainly helps. Pineco and Fortress, I hate to do this, but they're gonna go in D tier. Not necessarily because I don't like them, but because I legitimately forgot that they were Pokemon. And if I can't even remember that they're Pokemon, that doesn't really help. Dunsparce is just a goofy little guy. I think he's gonna go B tier, and I think it's gonna go right beside Girafarig. It's the same Goofy that Mega Ampharos looks like, but it's a Goofy that I can get on board with. Gligar is probably gonna go right there as well. Gligar really helps by having Gliscor in 4th gen, but as a Mon itself, it's solid, but definitely helps when it can hold Eviolite. Steelix is 100% going in A tier. It's a really cool Mon and a nice continuation of Onix. Mega, I think I'll put the Mega right beside it. I don't really know how I feel about it. I never really get the chance to use it, and that makes it so it's gonna go right next to Steelix. Double and Gramble, they're probably just gonna go right in top of B tier as well. Actually, yeah, I think that's fair. Snubble above Gramble, because when I think of Snubble, I think of Madame Much Money. So, there you go. Hisui and Quillfish, it's gonna go D tier. I don't know why they felt the need to make a new Quillfish when mons like Stantler just evolved from its base Johto form. I don't know why they did this. Actually, I'll put both Quillfish here. I don't know why they felt the need to give Quillfish something, but they did. I don't know. I never really cared for Quillfish, so they're probably the same people that are clamoring for a Dunsparce evolution. Scizor is 1,000,000% going in S tier. Honestly, I think the Mega is going to go in S tier as well. I really like it. Scizor is just a sleek design, a really cool design. There's not much more I can say. Shuckle is just going to go right next to Umbreon because it's bulk just like him. It's just more for defensive play and I don't really care about that. Heracross, base Heracross is going A tier. Mega Heracross is going B tier. The only benefit that Mega Heracross has is that it gets Skill Link. That's it. Its Mega design just looks weird to me. Sneasel on its own is probably a low, high, maybe higher. Yeah, I think a high B tier, above Gramble. Sneasel is unfortunately a victim of pre-physical special split where it doesn't get to take advantage of its stats, and that's just unfortunate. But after Gen 4, it really helps. As for the Hisuian, low B tier. It's cool that it's a poison fighting type, but I just never really got the opportunity to use it. Teddiursa is absolutely adorable. He is A tier. Ursaring, Paul's Ursaring definitely helps. It's going to go A tier as well. Slugma and Macargo, I think they're going to go a low B tier. They're probably neat mons once you get to use them, but I just never got to use them. Swinub and Piloswine are kind of along the same lines, and I think Swinub is going above Piloswine for that. Another neat group of mons, but they're available so late game that you don't really get the opportunity to use them. Corsola, Misty's Corsola is so iconic. I think it's gonna go high B tier. For the Galarian, it's more bulky strategy, so it's gonna go right there next to the other two. Remoraid, this is probably going to be a weird one. Remoraid and Octillery are absolutely going A tier. I don't know what it was, but I remember the episode of the anime. I can't remember what the plot of it was. It showcased Remoraid and Octillery, and I think there was a thing where there was an Octillery that was scared or something or other. I can't remember what it was. But that scene right before the commercial is just ingrained in my memory, and I don't know why. Of course, I could be misremembering all of this. Who knows? Delibird is gonna go C tier. I just don't care. Mantine, same thing. I don't really care. Skarmory is probably gonna go a very solid B tier. Probably, yeah, actually, a better flying type than Gligar, I would say. It showcases a new steel typing. Houndoom is a legitimately cool mon. I think it's going to go A tier. As far as the Mega, it's the same kind of goofy looking. Well, it's not as goofy looking as Mega Heracross. But I don't think it's as neat and cool as Houndoom is. So I think it's going to go high B. Kingdra is going to go A tier. I really like Kingdra. It's a really cool design. A new way to introduce a new dragon typing. Is just adorable, and honestly, I'm beginning to appreciate Donphan more, probably because of Donphan's two future past forms that it has. It's just a really cool mon. Porygon 2, where do I even get started with this? I don't know where I ranked Porygon, but P2, I think it's gonna go, I like it more than Croconaw. I think I'm gonna push Dunsparce back next to Gligar, and I think that's how I'm gonna do it. Antler, it's gonna go C tier. It definitely helps that it got an evolution, but I just don't really care. Miracle is gonna go a high B tier. The only thing that helps it is I like to draw sometimes as well, but that's really the only thing that saves it. Tyrogue is an interesting one. It is like the other babies that I don't really care about. So I'm going to put it right there next to the other babies I didn't care about. Hitmontop is better because it gets Intimidate, so I think it's going to go right there in B tier. Smoochum, they needed to find some way to attract more attention to Jinx. Why? Kid is a solid one, but I think it's only going to be B tier. Magby is kind of neat as well, actually, so I think right there next to Elekid is fair. Miltank. Even with the memes about Whitney's Miltank being a monster, I still think it deserves a low A. As for Blissey, it is going to be... I think it's going to be a B tier. I just don't really care. It's neat that it's a friendship evolution, but I'm just here wondering why did Chansey get an evolution. As for the 3 legendary beasts / dogs, whatever you want to call them, they are going to go in A tier. And I'll put them all up here first and then decide how they're going to be ranked amongst each other. No, I could put Suicune as second and then Entei last, but I think Raikou is definitely going to be the top. I really like Raikou. As far as Entei versus Suicune, these are honestly interchangeable. I think I'm going to keep it as Suicune second and then Entei. As for Larvitar and Tyranitar, they are going to go A tier. I really like both of them. I think Ash's one that he owned for a time really helps. Unfortunately, I think that Pupitar and Mega Tyranitar are going to go B tier. Pupitar is like the early bugs where they have to give it a cocoon form. I never understood why this is what Pupitar's second stage is. Mega T-Tar just seems kind of redundant since regular Tyranitar already sets up the Sandstorm, but who am I to judge? Lugia is going to go in another S tier spot. It is absolutely one of my favorite legendaries. And Ho-Oh and Lugia, they're just going to go A tier. They're fine. I don't really have much attachment to either one. I mean, Celebi I definitely do more, but Ho-Oh is more just because of the mystery from the anime. And I think that's how it's going to look. I do like Lugia better than Mega Scizor. Actually, I think I'm going to put Mega Scizor down here. It's fine. I just think that Mega Scizor is a bit overly designed compared to regular Scizor. Plus, I don't want to have too much in S tier. Well, that's my tier list. If you enjoy, hit that like button down below. Let me know your favorites from Gen 2. And subscribe so you don't miss the Gen 3 tier list. And I'll see you next time. Momentai.